Hey garden friends, I'm standing here outside the greenhouse on this sunny, lovely fall afternoon. The air really is starting to feel like fall, and the sunlight is actually really starting to feel like fall. It has that blue cast to it that it gets later in the season, as opposed to the warmer, like yellow cast that you see in the height of summer. And I'm so excited. Fall is my favorite season by far. Um, yeah, so I'm getting excited for fall. Anyway, today I'm standing in front of the greenhouse because I wanted to show you what I've been working on the last few days, sort of the final bits of this whole greenhouse project, to tie it all together and get it done as far as I want to get it done this year. And that includes putting in a new floor to the greenhouse and cleaning it up and putting finishing touches on it. So let me walk you through that. The first task was to clear out all the weeds that had been growing in the base of the greenhouse. The base was ledgepack, 3/4 inch ledgepack, and unfortunately, with the wind blowing in and out of the greenhouse, it got pretty weedy. Next, I emptied out all the stuff from the greenhouse. Just figured it'd be easier to start with an empty greenhouse. So out came the trays and the heater and the fans. The heater and the trays will actually go up to the barn for storage, since I won't need any of that until February of next year. Then I raked out the base to level it a little better and get out some of the larger rocks that were in the 3/4 inch ledge pack. There were actually rocks bigger than 3/4 inch, but yeah, I raked it out as best I could and removed several wheelbarrowfuls of rocks. Then I started placing the pavers, which were 16-inch square pavers, concrete pavers, and I used construction sand um, underneath them only when I needed to place them to get them to be level, since the base was already pretty well leveled and compacted from several years of use. I did have to put sand kind of in the middle where there's a little bit of a depression and where I had taken out more rocks. But overall, I didn't really use all that much sand. More pavers, and you'll notice too that I butted the pavers up against what's the south side that you're seeing now, and the far side of the greenhouse, the eastern side of the greenhouse, just to avoid having to cut any pavers. It did leave a little bit of a gap at the front there. You can see on the western side by the doorway, and just about an inch gap on the northern side of the greenhouse. But overall, it took 70, 70 pavers to fill the entire greenhouse and didn't leave much of a gap other than the one by the door there. And so it worked out pretty well. Next, I brushed some more sand just in the spaces between the pavers. Didn't leave much space between the pavers, but there were a few that were a little bit off that had a little bit of a gap. So I wanted to make sure they were pretty secure in their space, in their position. So I just brushed some sand over to try to fill in any of the gaps um, that were left. Once all the pavers were in place, I took some of the pea gravel that is around the greenhouse and filled in the gap by the doorway, as well as the small, like 1 inch gap along the northern edge of the greenhouse, just to solidify the tile placement, make sure they don't shift with weight on them. I don't expect them to, because there's not a lot of traffic in the greenhouse, but it also made the whole arrangement look a little more finished. And then finally, I hosed everything down clean up all the sand, was on the tiles, rinse the pea gravel, and make everything look nice and clean and shiny. And finally, with the help of my dear husband, we loaded in the tables that run along the side of the greenhouse and down the middle of the greenhouse. After all that work, here is the final product. And pardon my shadow in this video, the sun is directly behind me in the west, so so yeah, we have the full floor all done. Looks really, really nice. And all the tables are loaded back in. Everything's clean and ready for the next phase of this greenhouse, which is drying the onions that I'm very late in pulling out of the garden, and curing the sweet potatoes that will be coming out probably in a few weeks before frost, or maybe right around our first frost. And so yeah, we're all set up, ready for that. And I'll be pulling onions soon this week and getting them up in here to dry and cure for storage. One other thing you might have noticed about this greenhouse pad is that it's looking a little bit more bare than it was just a few months ago. These are still here. Most of these are still here. These were shrubs designated for the native shrub border behind the barn. As you can see, I haven't done much work there. A few of them did make it into the pond garden. And then these trees here in the back, there are 4 of them. Those I will be planting before winter, definitely. Hopefully 3 of them, I believe, are going out into this pasture out there in various spots. And 1 is going to go into, I think I'm going to put 1 up here in this pasture to add to the specimen trees that I've got going up there. The rest of these plants here made it into the pond garden, and that is another video that will be coming soon, showing you the massive updates that have happened to the pond garden, which I'm really excited about. Well, that's it. The greenhouse project is officially done. I can cross this one off my very long to-do list and mentally check it off as well, get it out of my ever-evolving to-do list that goes on in my brain. So that's it for today's video. Just a quick one today. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate that you're here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Bye.